Enjoy these clips from our Royal Archives as we continue our gaze in the rear view at our first 18 years on Southeast Texas television.
'Cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA.
Lee Greenwood, great to finally meet you. I've been listening to your music for decades.
Wow, thanks.
Well, you've been around since early 80s, 1981. It Turns Me Inside Out was your first release, and I think it's really cool that Kenny Rogers passed in that song, and you ended up getting it, so his loss is actually your gain and our gain because you've stayed on a roll for 30 years now since then.
Yeah, you know, and I wrote a song for Kenny right after that called A Love Song, and it was the number one around the world for him. And it was on our first album as well. And we'd had talked about who's going to release the singles. I said, well, I've got Inside Out, you can have Love Songs. So.
Y'all give a warm Southeast Texas welcome to Republic Nashville recording artist, the band Perry.
All right, here we go.
The band Perry at Starvin' Marvin's. Nice to meet you. That's Neil,
Kimberly.
Kimberly,
Yes.
and Reed.
Good to meet you.
And
How
you
you
are the
doing?
king.
Of the road.
Of the road.
Jim King of the road.
Nice.
Get it?
I like
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
I do. I got to get one of those crowns. Where did you get that? Passed down in your family history?
Burger
or-
King.
Burger King, right?
Got some great merchandise for BJ Thomas back here by the entrance. Are you ready for the legend? I said, are you ready for the man? 5-time Grammy Award winner, BJ Thomas.
When I was a teenager, my parents took me to the LBJ Ranch. I'll never forget this. We were touring the ranch. It was after LBJ had passed away, and Lady Bird was living there. And on this tour, they were playing Raindrops Keep Falling on Your Head, and that was his favorite song. Did you know that?
Yeah, Raindrops was his favorite song, and I got a chance to. I had a chance to meet him, an offer to meet him, which I didn't. I was booked and I couldn't cancel any dates to meet him. They said, but you have this one opportunity. We can't reschedule it. And you can come and meet him at this time. But I was working, so I couldn't meet him. So I've always regretted that, but always admired him and Lady Bird, and proud of him from Texas.
That was the number one song for you, and it was in Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid, wasn't it? 1969?
Yeah, it was 1969, because it was the music was composed by Burt Bacharach, and the lyrics were written by Hal David, and they won an Academy Award for it. And just very lucky to have had that song in my repertoire.
Who encouraged you to move to Nashville in the early years, in the early 90s?
No, really, they didn't. They, I thought they would, but when I signed with MCA, I thought for sure they were telling me what to wear, what not to wear, and how to act, and everything like that. But I thought for sure they're going to try to make me move up here, and they never did. They wanted me to stay in Southeast Texas because we have a unique sound that comes out of this area. And I think
it's a very rich music scene here all over Texas, really, but especially Southeast Texas.
Really is. Southeast Texas is real special. It has its own vibe, and you can hear any type of music that you want to hear. If you want to hear country music, honky-tonk music, Cajun music, swamp pop, rock and roll, everything.
King of the Road.
Here comes this week's Honky Tonk Texas Fabulous Flashback. I always like to refer to Tracy Lawrence now as one of the Beaumont boys because he lives here part-time.
Yeah, he's got a beach house, and he married a Golden Triangle girl, and of course they live in Nashville. But yeah, he's I think you could give him honorary Beaumont status. I believe he's been down here enough.
All right, and you had a cookbook too called Eat Like a Bird.
Yep, Eat Like a Bird. Yeah, and there's still a few of them out there. Okay, you can find them on eBay.
And then the band's called Bird Dog now?
Bird Dogs, yeah, the Bird Dogs,
Bird
that's
Dogs.
right. The Bird Dogs, yeah, that's right. We finally gave them a name.
Used to be all the only way to fly, now it's the Bird Dogs.
Yep, this is a whole different band, and so we figured they needed a whole different name, so they're the Bird Dogs now.
King of the Road.
That was this week's Honky Tonk Texas Fabulous Flashback.
than Texas honky tonk. There's no place like home.
Since 2008, Honky Tonk Texas in Silsbee, Texas has featured a steady stream of the very best in local, regional, and national touring bands. Pack up your posse and boot scoot over to Honky Tonk Texas for great concerts, dancing, drinking, and dining. Of course, Steak Night is every Thursday, and don't forget about the Honky Tonk Grill. Visit them online at facebook.com/honkytonktx and at honkytonktexas.us. Honky Tonk Texas in Silsbee has been entertaining Southeast Texas since 2008. Where have you been?